Hello there, and I'm going to have a commentary on DC Comics. And I've been reviewing a couple of the whole 52 that's going on with DC Comics. And it happened slowly at first, but last week books, the one that had the Red Hood and the Outlaws and Catwoman that came out, brought everything to a head. A few months before 52 was announced, DC had said that they were basically going to do a new trend with their female characters, that their female characters had become too sexed up, and they were going to kind of de-emphasize that. It was applauded by a lot of people, especially women that wanted to really get into reading comics. Apparently they threw that out the window because there was a thing that happened at Comic-Con where there was an argument as to why there weren't more women writing comics, more female characters. There was also the issue with Batgirl, with her getting her legs back, or her being able to walk again. And this was kind of poo-pooed. And I didn't pay a lot of attention to it, but just enough to where I kept it on the radar. And in reading the past couple of batches of books of the 52 books, I have to say, DC, what in the world are you doing? From last week, Starfire, basically making her the tramp of DC Comics. Catwoman, she's like not really taking her clothes off at every bent, but you're having scenes where she has to take off her clothes, or she has to be sexy, and then the molestation of Batman. And it goes on with not that character. Batwoman, I didn't even really notice it a lot, but there's a scene in there where Batwoman and another female character, they're taking off their clothes before they go do a battle, and it shouldn't really be a big thing, but it's kind of like as you're starting to put these patterns together of the female characters, and you're realizing they're going into the slink. They're going into the slinkiness. I haven't reviewed it yet, because I will be reviewing it soon, but there's even a scene in the new Batman that came out for this week where there's this character in there that just is basically out of a 90s Rob Liefeld art thing where it's like, okay, she's just in this impossible pose, to be in this impossible pose to show all her curves. And it's like, it's not bad to do cheesecake. Cheesecake has its place, but sometimes it can just go overboard. Starfire especially went overboard. Catwoman, I think it's gone a bit much. And I think what DC needs to do, if they're going to get women and other people to really take on these books, they've got to tone this down. I've already had two people. One person I talked to personally, another woman that I got a Facebook message from. She didn't know I was actually already planning to do this. And they were concerned about, wow, why is DC tramping up their women? And it's true. And these are the people that DC really wants to get to read their comics, and they're turning them off by tramping up the women. And just so you don't think that this is just a woman thing, there's a guy that I talked to at my job who is also into comics, and my goodness, we spent 30 minutes talking about the tramping that's been going on with DC Comics. So it's not just the women that are complaining, it's the men that are complaining. So DC, think about what you're doing. Maybe de-emphasize the trampiness of the women would be nice, so that we can actually show these to people and say, hey, really read comics, this is a good thing. Otherwise, you're going to be in the same boat. That's my 2 cents. And I'll talk to you again soon.